What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Triple H podcast Happy Hour Hoops presented by Trainwreck Sports. And before we get into things, guys, just wanted to wish King LeBron James a happy 41st birthday because even though we keep track of how many seasons he's played and I knew how old LeBron was, seeing that this morning was still just kind of a crazy sight to see. And even though he cares less and less about basketball every day and cares more and more about golf, it is still pretty unbelievable that LeBron's doing what he's doing at age 41 because you still will scroll Instagram in the morning and see a reverse dunk, and I'll have to be like, wait, is this? Nope, Marcus Smart's on his team. That's from last night. So pretty crazy stuff from LeBron. Just wanted to start the show with a shout out to Bron, which I know is a surprise to everyone. But welcome in, boys. How we doing?
New year, new you. I get a little early,
yeah.
but
little early. How was the Christmas, fellas? You enjoy the games?
Unfortunately, I missed the best game. I missed the night game, which I feel like a lot of people did because it was tipping so late. But first couple games were great. I know we're gonna dive into it, but man, when the Spurs are a full go, they might be one of my favorite teams to watch play basketball. And got to shout out the Mavericks again for back-to-back Christmases having the star player leave the game with an injury. So Day-to-Day Davis, he went down. So that one, was I upset Davis got hurt? Sure, but did that give me even worse flashbacks to last Christmas, which basically was the start to the eventual Luka Doncic trade? Yeah, no, that's not how I wanted to enjoy my Christmas. But other than that, games were great. We started off with a great Knicks-Cavs game, and like I said, I wish I would have stayed up for Nuggets T-Wolves because Jokic just put on a show.
I tried my darndest. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I saw most of the, or not most of it. I saw some of the triple double, but Jokic gave us a special one. Jake, how was NBA Christmas for you?
The Central Time Zone helped me a little bit on the late game, but not enough. Couldn't get through after a long day of food. Everything else. Here's the problem with now for me on Christmas. I saw a good chunk of the last two games and a little bit of the early game, but I had Christmas parties to get to, and football dominated the Christmas TVs. Football took over. We had the Vikings and the Lions on, had the Cowboys and Commanders on. So I was on my I did not. Luckily, I didn't see the Cavs collapse. I saw the good part of the Cavs game. For me, Cavs won on Christmas. It was great. It was like middle of the third quarter. I'm like, hey, this is awesome. Good for me. But yeah, NFL really stepping on my Christmas day, but I did then let that get me down. It was a great game at the buzzer there with the Timberwolves and Nuggets, and to see even a part of that and just see where these teams are, where the Timberwolves have gotten to this year. They've been, I mean, I honestly have not watched a ton of Timberwolves this year. Just they've been on the back burner with some other exciting teams that have come on. Man, it was a real fun game. A lot of fun games throughout the day. But I'm really getting sick of this Netflix and Prime Video NFL extravaganza they're trying to do, especially when the games are not even good.
Garbage games.
Yeah.
3 garbage games in a row is one of the worst slates of football, and I can relate the same, Jake, because my family wanted the football on the big TV too. My family loves football. They want on the big TV. We have family over that they don't care about the NBA. Why should they care about the NBA in December? They don't care about basketball. So just like you, I was watching first couple games on my iPad. I had my iPad going as we had the games on the big TV. So I was able to catch them, but it's the same thing. Like, what do we do? Why we want to watch Max Brosmer play the Lions on the big screen?
Nobody did.
Nobody wants to watch that. So it was another one where I had to, find my workarounds to watch basketball. I was able to catch most of the games, but we had to work the following morning and I had to get up at about 6 a.m. So I could not. What I usually do, I'm usually late night, Steve. We're usually up late, always watching the late games.
Steve, but that
it was. I had to. Well, I was home. I had to drive back. Right, I had to drive back. So that's an hour and a half in the morning. Had to get up at 6. I was like, I can't stay up for Nuggets T-Wolves, and it didn't help either, Dunny, that the Lakers game was a snooze fest.
Yeah, it was.
And the Warriors Mavs game kind of became a snooze fest too, where it didn't really help, where I was like, oh, I'm still like gassed up. Oh, I'll watch one more game. I was like, yeah, T-Wolves Nuggets, whatever. I'll just check it in the morning. And sure enough, I can't fall asleep. I checked the box score. I think it was in the fourth quarter, and I was like, oh, Jokic just got 36, like 14 and 12. Of course he does. And then go to bed. Didn't even know it went to overtime. Wake up, I go, he's got 56, 16, and 15. Well, of course I missed that game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a perfect segue. So we enjoyed NBA Christmas. I was lucky enough to have the remote for the entirety of Christmas, and my extended family doesn't really care about either sport. So
you dog.
I kind of got whatever I was looking for as far as the sports went on Christmas. NBA dominated Christmas. It's NBA's day. That we don't have to spend too much time on that. But yes, Jokic, he had probably the best performance of the season. Maybe the last couple of seasons. Definitely the best Christmas Day game I've ever seen box score wise. We alluded to, I didn't watch the whole thing, but just real tough because a guy like this, Jokic, goes down last night. Looked a lot worse than it was. We got the news today that it was a hyperextension of the knee. Really avoided what looked like a bad injury. It was kind of like a weird, like barely contact knee injury. We know how those things usually go. No ACL, no real ligament damage, just hyperextension. But he is going to be off the court for the next 4 weeks. The Nuggets, one of the most hot teams in basketball. They're surging. Jokic, obviously, from start of the season to now has been unbelievable. But they were staying afloat without Aaron Gordon, and now they're going to be without Aaron Gordon and Jokic. Where are you guys at? Obviously, this could be a lot worse, like I mentioned, but where are you guys at with the Nuggets? Like, how do you think they fare? The 3 seed right now, 22-10, but Jokic out for 4 weeks, and you got teams like the Rockets and Lakers right on their tail, and the T-Wolves, who they battled with on Christmas Day.
I think the Nuggets will be fine. They'll probably slip a little bit. And
All right, I didn't know. I thought it was me at first. I was messing with my things up with text Steve. Sounded like I don't know what that was like.
Yeah, it sounded like his mic was disconnected a little. But Jake, all right, where are you at with the Nuggets? We'll get. I'll text Steve and we'll catch his thoughts when he comes back.
Yeah, this is the biggest ramification for me, and I mean the Nuggets. I think will be. It is weird because now you look at this situation where, and we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. I think the Michael Porter Jr. trade can come back to bite them a little bit. Like that's a guy who last year could have carried them offensively in a lot of these moments. You build a defense around him. You'd be able to get his buckets. Murray's been awesome this year, but is Murray going to be able to, uphold an offense to the rate that they need to do to win games when all the attention is going to be on him? And we got Joseph in here. I think Jamal is a Jokic merchant. I think there's honestly anybody who'd be on the court with Jokic is kind of a Jokic merchant because that's how good he is. So that's why it's weird to think of what this team will look like for an extended time without him. But that's the guy I'm looking at is Murray has looked a lot better this year. I feel like he's had some more after the, title run and how great he looked there. We expected him to kind of fully jump a level and he never did. And now he's had some uneven times. There's been some good, there's been some bad. And now we look at it here. He has to deliver basically upper 20s of points per game, probably. He's averaging 25. He probably has to be more around 28, 29 for that, like to get that back up for them. Like he's going to have so much more responsibility on him. Aaron Gordon obviously will too, but I'm just wondering if he can step up to it where he's been the inconsistencies of the last couple of years. We thought he was going to make a leap. It didn't fully happen. Can he be a one-man offense kind of guy for an extended period of time at this point in his career? I think he can. I think he can do it. I mean, there's going to be some nights where it looks ugly for them, but I think a lot of, especially against lesser teams than them or teams about their talent level, I think they're just so smart, so well coached. The IQ of the team in general is high enough that they'll be able to win a lot of games and stay afloat. But I'm interested to see how he reacts to this and what it kind of makes Jamal Murray into while Jokic is out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the most interesting variable, I think, is where does Jamal Murray go from here? You mentioned, having one of his better seasons, especially in more recent years. And, the Jokic merchants, say what you want. It's kind of hard to say because we really haven't seen them away from each other. And Murray can be that dude, but also has had the luxury of playing alongside Jokic for his whole career. So, yeah, that will, kind of be made apparent to see if Murray drops, stays about the same, or even rises. Like you mentioned, the scoring maybe can go up a little bit. But it's a tough blow. Obviously, you lose the best player in the world. It's gonna be tough for your basketball team. But it's just really sucks because what did we talk about all offseason leading up to this year is like, okay, Denver finally did it, right? They have depth around Jokic. They have the 5-man who can not play like Jokic, but imitate his game in Valanciunas and kind of come in and be that guy. They had Gordon playing alongside him. You mentioned the step up for Murray. They replaced MPJ with Cam Johnson, so a little more stability at that wing position. We liked the fit over the summer, and now here they are. Kind of worst case scenario. Gordon already out. Jokic down for, I think that was Joseph in the comments said it could be more like 6 to 8 weeks, like people are saying. I know the reevaluation was set for 4 weeks, but yeah, obviously two things here, right? Like injuries are almost always a little longer than the initial report. And also, if it's the best player in the world, like I mentioned, you don't tend to rush these things, especially if the Nuggets can stay afloat a little bit. So just really, really shit luck. And that's obvious saying that when a guy like Jokic gets hurt, but just all those other factors too. Like they had finally put like what seemed to be like the perfect roster in place for everything that's realistic anyway, and what their options were this offseason. And this is just a huge blow. Steve, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
No, you're good.
I don't know what happened there. The whole laptop crashed in the middle of that. But I'm not really going to dive into it too much. I'm sure you guys touched on it. But the biggest thing that I was going to say is I'm excited to see Jamal Murray be a true number one option because I think he's capable of it. And I think he's shown, how great he can be in big pressure situations. And when we talk about Jamal Murray, right, we talk about him as a playoff riser, right? Big game riser. He's clutch in the fourth quarter. He always pops off in the postseason. This is pretty much for him is basically going to be like postseason basketball for him, where he has to carry a team. He has to be the number one option. You don't have the best player in the world for the past 5 years on your team anymore with those, easy pick and pops, pick and rolls that those two work together. It's Jamal Murray. He's going to have to be kind of a maestro of this offense and create his own shots and get everyone else involved. And I would not be surprised if we saw him putting up like some juggernaut type box scores, because I really do think he's one of the most underrated players in the NBA and he's completely slept on. Now, Nuggets might slip a little bit in the standings, so that really just goes to how good and how dominant the West is. But Jamal Murray, I think, is a guy who can keep this team afloat. I think he is a good enough player, and they have a good enough, role cast around him to keep this Nuggets team afloat and competitive, before you get Jokic back.
Yeah, it's the last thing, and it kind of sucks that our brains go here now. So I kind of wanted to get your thought on this, because not last night when I first saw the injury, but one of my first thoughts this morning when I was thinking about the Jokic injury, and Steve, you texted about it today too. the 65 game rule.
Yeah.
And obviously, since they implemented it, it's been very hot and cold on how people see it as a rule and how the players talk about it and how fans and betting, how all those variables mix into one. I'd say it's a very polarizing rule that the NBA implemented a couple years ago. But, if it is 4 weeks and if it is that 6 to 8 weeks timeline, if it's on the longer side, he probably doesn't qualify for MVP.
Right.
And this is a guy who is, one, should already have one more MVP. Two, is going to be a shoo-in this year, most likely. Obviously,
he had it if he was healthy.
Yeah, still very early in the season, but I'm confident to say that if he clears that 65 game mark, he's going to win the MVP. But you would say that that's probably a long shot now, and so that just opens up that whole MVP conversation again. And you have Wemby back, and you have them beating the Spurs or the Thunder 3 times in the past month, and you have SGA, who is, if anyone was close before, it was him. To compete with Jokic again. So that's just the last wrinkle of this, and obviously it's the least important, and it feels shitty, making this about an MVP conversation after a guy like this goes down, but that's kind of the nature of this rule. This is what happens now.
Yeah, man.
So what do you guys think about that?
I think if Jokic is back in the time frame where he's going to be back, like let's say within 4 weeks, if he is back, I'm just going to think optimistic here. I don't think there's any world if he plays 65 games where he's not the MVP. He is putting up some of the most ridiculous numbers and efficient numbers we've ever seen. I think I saw a stat right now. He's averaging 29.9. It's like almost 13 rebounds, over 11 assists. He's averaging more points this season than Dirk Nowitzki's career high in points per game. He's averaging more rebounds this season than Shaq's career high in rebounds per game, and more assists this season than Chris Paul's career high in assists per game. He's doing that on a shooting split of nearly 65%, 44% from 3, and 85% from the line. There's no holes in his game. He's probably one of the best playmakers in the NBA currently. Like, it's just a matter of is he going to have enough games? If he has enough games, he's winning the MVP. And that means he will be the winner or top 2 in MVP voting in 6 consecutive seasons. And you could make an argument, Dunny, and I've said this many times before, you could make an argument he could have won the MVP the past 5 seasons. You could make an argument he could have won all 5. And I was talking to my buddy last night, funny enough, before the injury happened. We were just kind of talking. It's usually every couple months he and I just chat for a couple hours. We just go down the laundry list of sports. And I told him, I go, this is kind of my hot take that I truly believe. I think within 5 years, we might be having some uncomfortable GOAT conversations between LeBron, Jordan, and Jokic. And it's crazy when you think about it, but when you just start looking at everything he's doing, and the biggest thing I say is he's just got the 1 championship, right? And all he needs is to probably get a multiple championship. Before the injury, obviously, he was well on his way to a 4th MVP. He's getting to the point where, like, he just needs kind of the hardware now. He's shown me enough on the court. He's shown me enough on the court. He's shown me enough in the stats. He's shown me enough, just the eye test, everything you want to put there. He's checked every box. It's a matter of just getting the hardware now. And this injury, I feel, is just it hurts because this could steal an MVP away from him in a season where he's having one of the greatest historic seasons in the NBA. And also, too, and we've talked about this Nuggets team, I still believe is one of the best teams, if not the best team, to overtake the Thunder and to be the team to come out of the West and potentially win an NBA Finals and get Jokic a 2nd championship. And now I will say the Spurs have beaten the Thunder 3 straight times, and they're looking like a team that could be in that too. But this just I'm just hoping Jokic comes back within 4 weeks because this just hurts everything. And I really think this is a injury that is going to potentially ruin one of the greatest single seasons in NBA history. And I don't think people realize that yet.
No, I think you're absolutely right, Steve. I also, I'm glad you kind of came in hot with the comparison of those 2 guys because I was, just kind of doing the same thing I'm sure most basketball fans were today is, you take a closer look at what Jokic was actually doing. and then you start to appreciate what you've been watching the past couple, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, like you said. And it's crazy to think, oh shit, he's kind of been quietly the best player in the league the past 5 years, and really only gets credit like every other year, it seems like. And I was starting to think today, like, this in my lifetime, I'm probably going to like be able to say comfortably when Jokic's career said or done that he was a better center than Shaquille O'Neal. And like,
you might be able to make that.
Could say that now
sooner
right?
rather than later.
I was going to say
sooner. You might be able to make that argument right now. It's the championships. He's got to get multiple championships.
Right. And you know how many people that would upset, but it's just like more than half the things that Jokic does, Shaq couldn't even dream of doing.
I know. And he's shooting 5.5 threes a game. He's making over 2 threes a game. As a 7-foot center, he's shooting 44% from 3. He's shooting a better 3-point percentage than some of the best 3-point shooters in the world right now. And he's also doing that. The best thing too, he's averaging 30 points a game, but he's only averaging, I think it's a little over 17 field goal attempts per game. He's playing efficient basketball, almost 13 rebounds, 11 assists. I mean, we talk about his Christmas game, right? The 56, 16, and 15. He comes back 2 days later. He goes 31, 21, and 12. Like what are we saying right now? So that injury is just, it hurts because as a basketball fan, right? As a basketball fan, I don't think people are realizing the type of legacy and the type of historic season that Jokic was basically on the cusp of this year. And I'm just hoping that he comes back sooner rather than later. And we can see, if he can complete the start of the season he was on right now, guys, because you look at his numbers, no one's even dreamed of putting, those are numbers that your 9-year-old cousin does when he plays rookie mode in his new 2K game he got for Christmas. That's what Jokic is doing on a night-to-night basis. It's
special, man.
You would hope that most viewers feel this way, but I think the older generation and just a lot of people who are maybe deniers or don't get to watch West Coast games, I still think there is a large amount of NBA fans who really just don't get it.
I do too.
And don't understand what's happening. So appreciate it. If this injury isn't a reminder, and it's should be a breath of fresh air for all basketball fans alike, because this is something we could have lost Jokic for the season and into next season, but he should be back playing basketball this year, maybe in the next couple months. So that's positive. We'll keep tabs on Denver, see how they do. Before we move on to the Spurs, who we are going to talk about, just wanted to touch on, Steve brought it up at the beginning of the show, but Anthony Davis also will miss a few games with a groin injury. He's hurt again. So just just when the Mavs are starting to find a groove.
We don't need to report Davis injuries. When he's not injured, I think that's when we put it in the injury news. We're like, hey, by the way, Davis should play all 3 games this week. Day-to-day Davis, I can't do it anymore, man. And
then the bigger injury in the Western Conference, Austin Reaves out 4 weeks with a calf strain. On top of speaking of teams in the West, and this kind of opens a door for other teams with Jokic going down, Lakers is just I'm struggling to realize what type of team this is, because I have no idea.
So is JJ.
Yeah. Oh, he is going through it.
Maybe the laziest effort I've ever seen in the Christmas game.
Oh, it's just, dude, and then Bron walk into the locker room before even saying anything to anyone as soon as the game ended.
It was like the Lakers were checked out before that game even started. It was
who do you think JJ was talking to in his 4-minute rant? What player on that team is he talking about the most? Did you guys see the full? LeBron. That's what I'm saying. It had to be LeBron. There's nobody else that it could be, right? So
especially because he was getting shit
Rui
2 days before.
Well, Rui, you look at the stat sheet, and I'm like, wow, Rui 0 points.
Yeah,
Rui ran track. Oh no,
he
he walked track.
The Tony Snell.
He walked track though. I don't even want to give him credit for running track. I don't know if I saw Rui running that game at all. To be honest, I don't know if I saw anyone on that team like putting an effort. Like it was the classic. Lucas started a little bit. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to try to have one of those big Christmas games," and then he missed a couple shots and realized his team didn't want to get any rebounds, and that was it. The whole team just checked out.
That was it.
The whole team just checked out.
I don't know if it was the same rant, but I do know JJ mentioned, I think it was post-Christmas game, like just that how the Lakers have been in kind of a funk in so many words since LeBron's returned. And didn't say it was because of that, but, kind of said what everyone had been thinking. And, of course, no one thinks that the Lakers are worse with LeBron on the court, but obviously there's something going on, whether it's behind the scenes or LeBron is as checked out as it appears to the public eye right now, or Luka's not happy or something. I have a weird feeling that Marcus Smart's about to turn into a scapegoat real soon.
Oh.
And he might get the Russ treatment in LA.
Yeah.
Someone's going down, and I don't think it's going to be one of the big three on that team.
No. Ayton, maybe Ayton. Yeah, Rui could be the fall guy.
Well, Ayton will do it to himself after a little bit. Give him some time. He's actually been awesome. I shouldn't shit on Ayton. He's surprised me a lot this year.
He does, but he also has those games where he just looks like he doesn't want to be there.
Where he reverts back to himself.
Yeah. Well, that's unfair because I don't think like himself is always that. But yeah, he does have those games where he just kind of just like whatever.
It's that whole team has those games.
That's the issue with the Lakers.
They're a team built off of guys who have those games.
That's the issue. You can't have 5 guys on the court at the same time that have that mindset.
Here could be a fun exercise. Say Jokic, let's go in between. So say Jokic misses 6 weeks. Do the Lakers surpass the Nuggets in the standings starting today in those 6 weeks?
How far are they back right now?
They're 2 games back. 1.5 game back on the.
I think I'm in the minority that I think the Nuggets are going to be able to tread water.
I think so too. I think so too.
Fall off. I like their depth. They got big man depth this year too, right? It's not just like Jokic and they couldn't play backup centers. They had Valanciunas.
But what does that look like now that Valanciunas is your starter?
I don't think it looks awful. Like Valanciunas is a serviceable big man. He can be a starter. And I also think too, I've said this, Jamal Murray, I think is the most disrespected player in the NBA. He's so good. And he gets overshadowed by Jokic, but Jamal Murray is a big game riser. And I almost feel like
Bubble Murray.
They really do. And I almost feel like Jamal Murray is going to play these games like Dunny, their playoff games. And he's just going to put up almost kind of like Tyrese Maxey numbers, where he's just scoring about 33 a game, about 8-9 assists, and his just usage rate is through the roof. I just think Murray's capable of that. And I still like the team the Nuggets have around. Now, granted, you're losing the best player in the world. It's gonna hurt a little bit. It's gonna show. But I think if there's a team that can overcome that and at least, not fall off a cliff and lose like 7 straight, I think this Nuggets team will be all right. And the Lakers, I think, might be in a worse spot. With Reaves out, Luka's going to have to go Superman mode, and we don't know what LeBron we're going to see on a night tonight.
I was just going to say, this is where we're really going to learn about the Lakers. I'm very interested. As at time of this taping, it's Tuesday night. They play at home against the Pistons tonight. That is a game that is
that's the Peacock game, right?
Yeah, it's the Peacock late night game.
Don't get me started about Peacock, bro. I'll lose it. I'll fucking lose it, dude.
We I think the last episode we had the rant about people not finding games on TV. So
I know this is a basketball show. That Saturday night Green Bay Baltimore game. Oh my! I almost deleted every app that I have, bro. I bought Peacock just to watch that game. And it wasn't even working, bro. The stream wasn't even working. I paid just not even just to watch that game, just to watch the second half of that game. I was driving home, fantasy implications. I'm in 2 fantasy championships, both where the pot was over $1,000.
You up against Derrick Henry?
No, thankfully. I would. Oh my god. I would have called a meeting with Mr. Peacock if that were to happen. But no, in any event, I'm just we're not going to do the whole streaming thing again. But I am not happy with Peacock at the moment.
Well, if it makes you feel better, the Netflix Christmas football games, they buffered so badly. Our stream was like 4 minutes delayed. Didn't even realize it. I was getting updates on extra points when the game was still on commercial before the change of possession. I looked at my dad. I go, Dad, I think this game's behind a little bit. He's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, I think we're like 4 or 5 minutes behind, like an egregious amount.
Yeah, they just have no shame, man. It's
none whatsoever.
It's bad. But let's talk about some people who have some pride.
Okay.
And that's the San Antonio Super Spurs, baby. That's what we're calling them now, because this might be
fun.
This might be the funnest team in all of sports right now.
They are fun.
We're seeing them healthy, and it's still like discount Wemby right now. If people were able to watch NBA Christmas, I hope you were able to watch Spurs Thunder, because that was personally my favorite game of the day. You still had Wemby coming off the bench, and now we're at a point where, what'd we say? We were talking about maybe the Thunder won't lose again until Christmas.
Wow.
And a couple weeks earlier, who takes them down? The Spurs. Okay, then at the end of the cup, who takes them down? The Spurs. And then on Christmas, who takes them down? The Spurs. The Spurs have handed the Thunder, 3 of their 5 losses on the year. And I mean, I just said it. Like this, yes, they're healthy, and they have Fox, and they have Wemby, and they have, why can't I think of the rookie's name? Harper back in the lineup.
He's
nasty.
Bucket, dude. He is good.
And Castle looks more and more like a 10-year vet every time I watch him.
Yeah, and Castle's going to become a superstar. He is. Spurs hit home runs on every draft pick, and it was easy for them with Wemby, but
right. But then it's also crazy because they went out and they got Cornette, who's been awesome. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Celtics fan. Like Cornette has been awesome and a perfect big to put next to Wemby, and he did great when Wemby was out. And then you have Harrison Barnes, who laugh all you want, but like holding on to a guy like that through all like their rebuild and the different waves, and Chris Paul was there for a little bit. Like to hold on to a guy like Barnes is so huge, just for any number of games. Like if you need to throw him in the starting lineup, been there, done that. Heart of a champion. He knows how to win. Good locker room guy who won in college, won in the NBA. Like they just have. Like everywhere you look on this roster is just filled out nearly to perfection. And then we see this team who looks like the Monstars and can't be beat, and the San Antonio Spurs are like, hold my beer. We'll do it with Wemby on minutes restrictions.
I also love too how much Wemby likes beating Chet and the Thunder. I just love that they're really trying to get that rivalry. Yes, dude. It's almost like when you watch the Spurs, and it's contagious throughout the whole team, that they want to beat this team. That they know that, they're the defending champs. They're this historically good team. But we know we can beat this team. And you just see the emotions. I don't know if you saw in the Christmas game, but when Wemby was called for the foul and Chet missed both free throws, and his reaction and the team's reaction, dude, it was great. Because we need that again, man. We need more rivalries in sports again. And I'm not talking about your historic rivalries like your Red Sox, Yankees, your Duke, UNC. Those will always be there. I'm talking about 2 good teams that are becoming, elite at the same time. And it's just like, you know what? We're better than you. We think we're better than you. And that's how the rivalry starts. They don't have to be in the same division. They don't have to have a history. It's like we're starting the history now. And I see that bubbling a little bit with this Spurs Thunder, especially on the Spurs side, because I think the Spurs saw what the Thunder did and how they kind of accelerated their rebuild, and they were ahead of schedule, and they're like, hey, that's us now. That's us now, and we're not afraid of you. And you may be the defending champs. You may be the 1 seed. You may have this team that's historically great on defense. You have the MVP. You have the size. But guess what? We're just a couple years behind, and we have all that too. Yeah. And I really, really love watching this Spurs team and just the emotion they play with. Not just the Thunder, against every team, but especially in this Thunder game. That Christmas game, the cup didn't feel like anything special to me. That Christmas Spurs Thunder game felt like a playoff game.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, watching that was probably, it just felt like so intense, like you say. And the best part about the rivalry that you started to feel brewing, you said, is listening to the comments after the game, because J-Dub was like really short and kind of snarky with a reporter, because you could tell that loss got under his skin.
Oh,
He's like, I
yeah.
don't want to fucking answer these questions right now. And then SGA being like, oh, well, they're better than us. They beat us 3 times, so they're better than us. And he doesn't believe that. But he's saying that because he's like, oh, yeah, let them get their wins now. And then we'll see come playoff time. But, yeah, it's great for the NBA, man. It was great for NBA Christmas. And, I mean, sky's just the limit with the Spurs team. I have here in the doc, like, I think they're second best team in the West. And I think there's a legit argument. You could argue they're the best team in the West right now, because they took out the best team who's been killing everyone 3 times in a 3-week span.
Yeah.
With the minutes restriction on Wemby.
I know we're not even at full Wemby go yet, right? And De'Aaron Fox is really starting to get comfortable in this team.
He was the reason they were in that game in the first half.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was balling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the fact that they just we went through their whole roster, and they have guys like Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell who are just buckets too. Like they
have a lot of depth.
Guys.
A lot of depth throughout this team. And just, they are the first team to really replicate, as you're saying, like what the Thunder's build of everything is, and just be able to pressure them like they can pressure other teams. Perfectly matched up 2 teams and the Thunder, I just feel like, as much as anything, like I still think if we have a series with them, the Thunder can obviously like win that series and go on, but they just aren't tested like that on a night to night basis. Like they have to figure out how to make the adjustments. But and that's why the Christmas result was the most shocking of them all, because you would think after you've seen this team twice in the last 2 weeks and you played them 2 nights before, that it would be like, all right, like now you've seen what they're doing to you, you'll make the adjustments, you'll be able to figure this out, OKC. So it's interesting that they didn't, but the chess match, 2 great young coaches too, like that just understand like where they're at and what they need from their team. It's going to be fun. Like we do need this series in some form or fashion to find its way out to happen, depending on where the Spurs end up in there, obviously. But beautiful basketball, and just like the evolution of where this game and that's where when you hear the Thunder and like Warriors comparisons from 2016 that makes sense here, is that this is clearly the evolution of where this game is going. Like that was a 3-point and extending the line out, extending defenses out back then, and now it's these long teams with ball pressure up and down the court, like a full court press that you would do in 8th grade, basically just getting brought back up, like effort level just being brought up every game, because we had known the last 5 years that had been lacking at a night-to-night basis in the regular season. What do the Thunder and Spurs bring every single night? Immense effort. We just talked about the Lakers. Like the Lakers put up effort like that in every single game. We'd probably be talking about them as
Pacers
one of the teams
last year.
The Pacers last year too was a great example. Like just they played harder than everybody, and you had guys that could defend and not get exploited really on that side of the ball, and it helps everything. So it's interesting to see a team finally match up to that. Who knows how many more come in the next couple of years as teams start to adapt and everything else. But the Thunder are the ones who got it first. SGA was a big reason behind it. I think that it's interesting that the Spurs have a guy just as dominant that can do things on the other side when we get to a playoff series against them. But it's fun to see this team get tested after we saw the way this start. And we're just like, who's going to even touch this team? Like Oklahoma City, like whatever. Like we know they're going to end up winning the finals. We know how it's going to go. And to see them look mortal against one specific team, just like you said, Dunny, it's good for the league because it builds in the one storyline we can look at where maybe it's just their kryptonite, and maybe if they caught them in the second round, they lose, and all of a sudden the league opens back up again. That's what makes playoff basketball obviously a super exciting time. But yeah, we got to take this Spurs team for real. They might just be ahead of schedule like we thought this Thunder team was, and that's just where it is.
Yeah, no doubt, man. The Spurs are awesome. Would you guys, just to put a ball in the Spurs conversation, would you guys say they're the best team in the West, or you're not ready to do that yet?
No, I still think it's Thunder. I know the Spurs have beat them 3 times, but we're also got to talk about a playoff series. You also got to talk about you're probably going to be on the road in that playoff series. Thunder are going to have home court advantage. And I'm always, in the camp of they're the champs until someone dethrones them. Right. And when you're the champs and your team is as young as it was when you won the finals and you're only getting better and you only looked more dominant this year, it's hard to say there's any team above them right now still. Now, the Spurs might just have a good matchup against them, and the head-to-head's in their favor. But in terms of the overall better team right now, I still think you got to go with the Thunder.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair too. And the other day, actually, I think it was the day after Christmas, I was thinking about the Thunder and these losses, and we were like, it was crazy. We were like, they might still only have one win or one loss after Christmas, and then here we are now. They have 5. And it's funny because we always talk about the championship of last year. They always struggled the following year. And maybe their struggle is just going to be more in the middle of the season and not to start, because they came out about as hot as you can start an NBA season. So they didn't struggle there, but maybe this is just where they hit their lull. And I think the Thunder are just fine. This is more about how good the Spurs are, and people should probably start taking notice. You guys want to close the show with a little blind resume?
Absolutely.
All right. I panicked in case this one's too easy because I think it might be. So I have a backup one just in case. But for the listeners out there, blind resume, I did it this week. Player A, 25.2 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, 7 assists per game on shooting splits of 48.7, 45.4, and 88% from the free throw line. So pretty good. Player B, 28.8 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 4.3 assists per game, 46.5% from the field, 39% from 3, and 92% from the free throw line. So both players, pretty good shooters. Player B has the edge in scoring, about the same in rebounding. Player A has the assist edge. Do you guys know who these guys are?
I have a guess for A.
Okay,
B,
I think Jake. Wait, before
B, I have a couple in my head, but I'm not convinced on B. A, I think I know it.
Okay, before you guess A, Steve, Jake, do you also think you know who A is?
I don't.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought
I don't.
This is funny because I'm almost positive you do know who A is, but who do you think A is, Steve?
Did I say him already?
I talked about A today, didn't I?
Is it Jamal Murray?
We all have.
It's Jamal Murray, yeah.
Okay.
Jake, because you were literally reading his stats at the beginning of the episode. I was like, no.
Okay. Yeah,
I was like,
you're right.
well, that's why I did a second one on the fly, because we just spent so much time looking at Jamal Murray's stats and talking about it.
And I didn't even put that together.
You were like reading out his points per game earlier. I was like, shut the fuck up.
I think it was the efficiency that gave it away from me, because I think I saw something, one of the Nuggets games I was watching, where it showed like Murray and Jokic's percentages. And also too, like I've told you how much I think Murray's underrated. Dude, he's averaging 25 a game. No one cares. And no one cares. Player B's tougher. Player B's tougher, because my initial gut was Jaylen Brown, because I felt like that's something you do. But I looked at it and I was like, I don't think Jaylen Brown's shooting 92% on the free throw line. And I also think he's averaging more than 4 rebounds a game. So I was like, that one kind of throws it off. So I'm going with my backup, and I didn't think he was averaging this much, but he's also been hurt. Is it Steph Curry?
It is.
He's averaging 28.8.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's shooting 39 from 3. I didn't think it'd be Steph Curry, because I looked at 28.8 and I looked at the 39%. But it's how many guys are shooting 92% from 3?
Yeah,
almost averaging 30.
I almost kept out the free throw percentage because I thought that was the giveaway.
But honestly, like, if you kept that out, I don't think I guessed Steph Curry, because I genuinely didn't think he was averaging that close to 30 a game.
I was shocked by that too. But I more so did the blind resume to hype up Jamal, not realizing that he would come up so much when we talked about Jokic. But yeah, I mean, that's insane, bro.
Yeah, that it is 25. Like, people do not think about 25 points per game anymore. They're like, why aren't you scoring 30? Like, it's crazy. It's like with the scoring going up that little bit has turned like 25 is like the new 18 basically, where it's like, yeah, like it's great, but like why aren't you getting? It used to be, I feel like you got 24, 25, 26. It's like, damn, that's a great night, but it's
now
wild to think
it's
about.
not just 30. Now it's like, why
Like
don't you have
35.
8 rebounds and 7 assists
Well,
to
that
get
too,
30
yeah.
points, right? Like that's the thing. Guys got to do everything now. It doesn't matter what position you play.
Well,
I almost guessed Donovan Mitchell too, Dunny, but I think he's closer to 30, right, for points a game. Jake, is he over 30?
Well,
Yeah,
I think
he's
his
over
3-point
30.
shooting is still a little lower than that too.
He's lower than 39.
Yeah, nobody's had a good year shooting. He might have it back up now.
Okay.
I'll check, but it was everybody on the Cavs was like under like 35% for a good stretch there, which was part of
the
their
other crazy
issue.
part too is
he's up near 38 now. So
Jamal Murray is averaging 7 assists per game. Like you'd be pretty damn happy if your point guard was averaging 7 assists per game. He's doing that while their starting center is averaging 11 assists. Per
game. I know.
So like that's. And the usage that Jokic gets, like this is a point guard who predominantly plays off ball. Like if that makes I think you can say that, right? Like,
yeah, they run the pick and roll a lot too, where he'll start with it and then either hand it to Jokic or he'll go around. Like they love their 2-man, pick and pop, pick and roll situation. But you're right, like
just I guess unconventional point guard. He definitely still brings the ball up, but like. The fact that he has a teammate averaging 11 points per game or 11 assists per game, and that teammate is Jokic, who has one of the highest usage rates ever, and then he's also able to average 7 assists. Shout out Jamal. Do you guys want to speed run the bonus blind resume?
Yes.
Yeah, real quick before we do, well, you went over Jamal. Give me your points, rebounds, assists prediction for Jamal while Jokic is out, like the stat line.
Ooh, okay. I think that points number goes up to 28 points per game.
Okay.
I would guess the rebound stays about the same.
Yeah. I mean, Jokic is gobbling 12.
True.
You're losing a little over 12.
Also, that goes up 1. So I'll say 28 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game, and then I'll say like 9 assists per game, I think. And then honestly, I think the 3-point percentage has to fall, right? Like
45% is almost unsustainable.
But I think otherwise, field goal percentage or free throw should stay nearly.
I think I'm going north of 30 points a game.
I was gonna say I want to say like 31. I'm
thinking 31, 32. Yeah.
Especially with no MPJ this time too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a good point Jake made earlier.
Yeah. I
think
he's going to be more of
the assists. He might be like 11 assists a game, like just depending on how much they use him.
Yeah, he could, but I also think he might become more of a volume shooter because he can get to the rhythm there where we're going to see him.
How many shots a game? That's the real question.
Right.
Like 20, like 22, 23 shots a game. Like
right. Well, that's the thing. So I'm kind of similar. I think I'm going like 30, 32 points a game. I'm having the assists only go up to like 8. I think the Nuggets have a lot of good playmakers on their team that I think they're going to just want to get Murray the ball. And then rebounds, I'm kind of with you, Dunny. I think it kind of stays the same. Valanciunas will gobble rebounds, and they also got a bunch of guys who can get boards. But I truly think he's going to be more of a volume shooter now. I think a lot of people will jump to the assists got to go up. You're losing 11 Jokic assists. I'm like, oh, maybe Murray just shoots more. And he's shooting a very efficient clip. Why not just try to score 40 every night?
Yeah, for real. All right, real quick, you want to do this?
Yeah, let's
last
try it.
blind
Let's
resume?
do it.
All right. So player A, 14 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game, shooting splits of 45, 43, 87. So very good shooting.
Sure, yeah.
Player B, 11 points per game, 2.6 rebounds per game, 1.3 assists per game, shooting splits of 37, 35, 71.
I'm going to need a hint on this one because there's about 1,000 guys in the 11 to 15 points per game.
Both known for their shooting.
Okay.
Both Western Conference players.
Okay.
Trying to think.
When you say known for shooting, you mean 3-point shooting primarily?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Shooting in general, but 3-point shooting primarily.
Okay.
One, probably better known for college. The other, multiple-time champion.
One's Klay Thompson. I don't know which one, but one of them's Klay Thompson, I feel like.
Yes.
Colin Gillespie.
Okay, I gave way too many hints. Yes.
As soon as you said no for college, I was like, wait, Gillespie's been kind of a dog lately.
I screwed myself.
He's been kind of a dog lately.
Which one is which, though? Is
Colin's the better one. Colin's been
player A.
Klay Thompson shooting 71% from free throw. That's
and
bad.
35% from three.
Gillespie's been incredible this year.
He has been.
He's on the Suns, though. No one cares.
I saw he's shooting I saw a stat that it was like pull-up 3-point percentage, and he's shooting like 47 or 48% just on pull-up. Or it might be. Actually, I think it's catch and shoot, not pull-ups. But regardless, like crazy. I can't believe Klay's shooting 71% from free throw. That's like. Well, that's real bad.
If you watched him, you'd believe it.
You'd
be able to believe it. You'd be able. If you were watching Klay Thompson this year, you believe it.
You'd think if that guy would be able to shoot a free throw like in his sleep for the rest of his life. That's tough.
Crazy, right?
Tough.
Yeah, I wanted to give Gillespie some flowers, and I was like trying so because he was gonna be my blind resume. And it was just so hard to find someone to match, and then I was like, I don't even know what player to compare him to. And then I was like, I wonder if Klay's splits are that bad this year. And
they are
that bad.
Yeah, Gillespie's been so impressive, man.
It just goes to show you a couple things, right? Like people's fall off can be quicker than we think, no matter how good they once were. And two, like maybe the guy with the big name who's aging and wants to make a lot of money still isn't always the best thing for your team, because no one thought the Suns were going to be shit this year.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, moving parts, things start to work out. You get a guy like Gillespie who's on no money at all, and here you are. He's thriving. So that was the blind resumes, guys.
Just keep plugging away. That's all you got to do. That's the story of Colin Gillespie, man.
I like that one. I like getting the shout out to a guy no one else is talking about right now.
Right.
He's been helping me in our fantasy league. The locked lineup, man. Gillespie, just plug him in the shooting guard. He gets me about 30 fantasy points.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. All right. Shout out to everyone watching and listening, guys. That is another episode of Happy Hour Hoops presented by Trainwreck Sports. Remember to follow us at Happy Hour Hoops 1 on all socials. Go follow Trainwreck Sports on all socials and subscribe to the YouTube. Hopefully Jokic gets well soon, and go watch a Spurs game if you haven't recently.
There you go.
Guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.